Fox News is learning FBI agents are on site at a Fulton County election office in Georgia, where they are conducting a search. David Spunt's got more details for us on this developing story. David?
Hi, Sandra. This is a satellite office for the Fulton County Elections Office. The FBI Atlanta press office confirming this, not giving many details, saying that the FBI is executing a court-authorized law enforcement action. No other details at this time.
FBI agents descended on a satellite Fulton County Elections Office in Georgia after a judge approved a sealed search warrant, allowing federal investigators to enter the building and remove potential evidence. The FBI's Atlanta field office confirmed the operation, describing it only as a court-authorized law enforcement action and offering no further details. Sources tell Fox News agents were examining documents, phones, and computers inside the office, signaling a serious federal probe. While officials remain tight-lipped due to the sealed nature of the case, multiple sources say the investigation is connected to the 2020 presidential election.
But we do know via sources a judge signed off on this warrant, allowing these agents, as you see them, enter this building to take items from the inside. Now, we're told that this is a sealed matter before the court, meaning details are now limited. Now, agents are looking at documents, phones, computers. We are told via multiple sources this is related to the 2020 presidential election. Now, we don't know specifically what agents are taking to the FBI lab, items that may eventually become part of a federal case. You may remember President Trump was charged in Fulton County with trying to overturn the 2020 election results. That's Brad Raffensperger right there. He is the Secretary of State of Georgia. That is the Fulton County District Attorney, Fani Willis. Now, Raffensperger spoke to President Trump back in early 2021, and Trump said that he wanted to find some 11,000 votes to help win the election.
Legal analysts emphasize that this was not a routine or casual search. Federal judges do not approve warrants unless investigators present credible evidence suggesting possible criminal wrongdoing. This means the FBI and Department of Justice likely laid out a detailed case before the court, convincing a judge that seizing election-related materials was justified. In legal terms, this was not a fishing expedition. It was a targeted action backed by sworn affidavits, making the search a significant development that could point toward deeper federal scrutiny. And
Raffensperger said that he felt pressure from Trump. Willis then took Donald Trump to trial. That didn't happen. In 2023, she said that her prosecution was all buttoned up, ready to go, but it was completely derailed after it was revealed she had an intimate relationship with the top prosecutor on her team, and it could have tainted the case. Late last year, a judge dismissed the case in its entirety. It's important to point out, Sandra, that a judge typically would not just sign off on a warrant so the FBI could go on what's known as a fishing expedition. It's likely the FBI and DOJ presented some credible evidence to the judge for the judge to go ahead and give the green light. No immediate comment from the Justice Department. Again, the FBI confirming this court-authorized search warrant. We are waiting to see if perhaps Director Kash Patel, Attorney General Pam Bondi, or even Secretary Raffensperger, or perhaps Governor Brian Kemp have anything to say. We'll follow it. Sandra?
Okay, David Spunt there in Washington on that for us. Keep us posted. David.
The search brings renewed attention to Georgia's election controversies, including President Trump's 2021 phone call with Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, where Trump urged officials to find enough votes to overturn the election outcome. Raffensperger later said he felt pressured during that call. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis went on to charge Trump over alleged election interference, insisting her case was airtight. However, the prosecution unraveled after revelations of an intimate relationship between Willis and a top prosecutor on her team, leading a judge to dismiss the case entirely and casting...
Thank you. Bill.
Thank you.
Well, Sandra, Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin has a court hearing next week, and his lawyers want to exclude video of the murder happening. They claim it would violate his right to a fair trial. For more on this, we are joined by Andy McCarthy, a Fox News contributor and former assistant U.S. attorney. Andy, always great to see you. Thanks for coming on this afternoon.
Bill, how are you?
Good. So I'm looking forward to getting your thoughts here. So this hearing next week, it's not on the merits of the case. It's the defense trying to get a county prosecutor off the case because they feel there's a conflict of interest because that prosecutor has a child who goes to Utah Valley University. So they're saying showing this video of the murder during that hearing about a conflict of interest is irrelevant, it's graphic, and it would potentially alienate future jurors. Do they have a point here?
Well, they have a point, Bill, in the sense that it's not really necessary for the judge to view that video in the context of deciding whether the prosecutor has to be removed because he's got a daughter who may have been either at the school or in the audience. I don't think that's a very good reason to dismiss a prosecutor.
In a separate but equally high-profile legal battle, attorneys for the man accused of assassinating Charlie Kirk are now asking a judge to block graphic video footage from being shown at an upcoming court hearing. The defense argues the hearing is strictly about a potential conflict of interest involving the prosecutor, not the facts of the murder itself. They claim playing the video would be irrelevant, emotionally charged, and could contaminate the jury pool before trial even begins, potentially undermining the...
They were worried that a juror's family member were at the school or in the audience. That would be a different thing. But there's no requirement that prosecutors may be biased in favor of prosecution. So that it's kind of I think I wouldn't say it's a frivolous motion. A defense lawyer is obviously going to make it. If we were talking about suppressing the videotape in connection with the trial, that would be ridiculous. But in connection with this hearing, the judge may not need to see it to decide that narrow issue.
Yeah, and here's a little bit more on the motion the defense filed here. It says in part, quote, "Nothing about the motion or the state's opposition necessitates the viewing of the moments just before or the moment of Mr. Kirk's death and the captured audio in order to reach a legal conclusion about the existence of that actual or apparent and unwaivable conflict of interest." They go on to say that the video is, quote, "graphic and highly disturbing." So, Andy, to your point, they're not saying the video can't be played during the actual trial. They just don't think it's relevant for this hearing here. Your thoughts?
And it may be, Bill, that, if the prosecutors think about it, it's going to be difficult enough to select a jury in this case. So they may not want to be in a position of being depicted as sort of overemphasizing this video before we even get to the jury trial and creating a bunch of publicity that...
Former federal prosecutor Andy McCarthy says the defense argument is unlikely to remove the prosecutor from the case, explaining that prosecutors are not required to be neutral about crimes, only ethical and professional. He notes that while the judge may not need to view the video to decide the narrow conflict issue, the footage will almost certainly be shown during trial. McCarthy also points out that horrific crimes cannot be sanitized for court, and the government has the right to present powerful evidence. With multiple politically charged investigations unfolding at once, public scrutiny, legal pressure, and national attention are only intensifying.